Hi, I am Amanda Park, and for school community relations, this is my personal introduction. So, first of all, please allow me to introduce myself. These are pictures of my family. I am very happily married, and my husband is in the active duty Army. We have four beautiful children, ranging in age from 14 to 3. As you can see there, our very youngest, he was born about 14 weeks early. He was 2 pounds and was in the NICU for 85 days. And you will see below him is a picture of our 14-year-old. She is a competitive volleyball player and is now playing for a nationally ranked team. You will see several pictures at the top of me and my husband at Chiefs games. That is what we love to do together. We love to spend our time watching football and especially our Chiefs. In the middle at the bottom, you will see our other three children: Houston, who is 8, Natalie, who is 6, and Asher, who just turned 3. He is our little miracle NICU baby. In the bottom right hand corner, you will see several pictures of our adventures together. My husband and I love to travel. And while he was in Germany for 2 years, we traveled anywhere and everywhere you could think. So, my personal life, I'm very family oriented. I grew up in Augusta, Kansas, graduated from high school in Augusta, Kansas. I am in a military family. Both my parents were active duty Air Force, and I was actually born at Holloman Air Force Base. And I have three siblings, and my three siblings um, were my best friends growing up and still are today. I am an Army wife, and we've been married for about a year and a half. Our four kids are 13, 7, 5, and a 2-year old. They are now 14, 8, 6, and 3. I had all of my ages wrong because they all have birthdays very close together. And our hobbies, we love to work out. I love to work out and stay active. Softball, I love to play softball on competitive and just intramural fun teams for co ed softball. Reading, I love to read, but I prefer to read what I want to read. And I know we all feel that way. We don't get to do that very often. I love to travel and, of course, go Chiefs. We enjoy our Chiefs football. Professionally, I am a Friends University graduate. I graduated with 3 degrees, 3 BAs for my undergraduate, and that was in English education, Spanish education, and Spanish culture and language. I then went back and received my master's in global leadership and management. And my teaching experience, taught for almost 14 years. I started out at Wellington High School and taught English for 4 years. I then went on to Bluestem Middle School, High School, and I taught numerous things at the Bluestem for 2 years. I taught Spanish, uh, I taught technology, and a little bit of English. Then I went to Wichita Southeast High School and I spent 7 years teaching high school English. Last year, I taught at Junction City High School for 1 year, and I taught again English. I also taught a composition class, Comp 1 and Comp 2. My professional thoughts as far as education is concerned, I've been a big advocate of Anita Archer in the example of I do, you do, we do. For me, education is a business, and I see it as a business. Our students and our teachers are our customers, and it is absolutely necessary for everyone to have buy in. If we don't have buy in, we don't produce any profit, and our profit is the success of our students. Professionalism is a huge key factor, and collaboration and trust are the only way to be successful, and those can only be established through value. So, if we look at forms of communication strategies for reaching stakeholder communities, I prefer to use face to face communication absolutely anytime I'm able to. School newsletters are a great way to communicate, not just with parents and other teachers, but with the community as a whole and with our students. Email is also another form of communication. Sometimes email can be preferred because it is a means of communication that allows us to have a trail of evidence, so to speak, or a trail of that communication that has taken place so that we know exactly and we remember what has been said and what communication has taken place and what has not taken place. Phone calls are a great way to communicate because it is a voice and listening and communication. And then community events. I think community events are key to establishing a bridge between the educational buildings in our districts and the community as a whole. And that includes our business owners as well. And then educational platforms. And what I mean by educational platforms is you're going to have social media that you can use, but you're also going to have your Google Classroom and your other platforms that are used not just as classrooms, but in the classroom and as a means of communication and gives our teachers an ability to form groups and collaborate and share with one another as well. For a professional introduction on my behalf as an administrator, it is important to remember that introductions done well do matter. It is absolutely the first thing that people are going to remember and the last thing people will remember. They are going to remember the first impression that they have of you, whether or not you produce a professional character, and that first 30 seconds of your professional introduction matter the most. Judgments are made through these introductions by everyone. And it's important when these professional introductions are done to highlight the important commitments that you make to kids and to education as a whole. It's always important to remember that our kids are the main focus. And it's also important to highlight our achievements, but most importantly, we have to show that our contribution adds value. And part of our highlight of those achievements is what contribution do we make that adds that value to education? Do we produce solutions for problems? And do we have a story? And in order to create that professional introduction, it's also important to make sure that it is created ahead of time and that there's input provided in order to make it the most valuable personal and professional introduction with the highlights of contribution, solutions, and story told. For USD 259 communications, and this is the school district I worked with the longest, and it was my home. And looking at the way that they communicate, there are always going to be some faulty areas in all districts. And communication was a hard area for USD 259, but it worked with communication in a different fashion, and it had to because USD 259 is the largest school district in the state of Kansas. And because it is the largest school district, they had to communicate in a different way. With the large number of people that are involved in the district has set up many different departments in order to help with the business aspect of education in the community. So they have a strategic communications division. And I think that it's important to have a strategic communications division, whether your district is very large or small. And sometimes that division is just a couple of people or the administrator in the building if it is a very, very small district. However, with 259, because it is a large district, they have a large division. And within this division, they promote student and staff achievements. And this is really interesting. And I think it's important to communicate the achievements made by not just our students, but our staff as well. Or a division who organize partnerships and volunteer opportunities, and we get the community involved in education. This particular division helps to manage crisis situations, which is always important, and communication is a key factor in that. They respond to media inquiries, and there's always going to be media inquiries with school districts, but especially in large school districts like 259. And they explain complex issues to parents and communities members, as well as business members. They communicate district directives and policies to all of the employees. They notify the public in case there is an emergency or a crisis situation. They manage all the content for the social media for the district, and that's incredibly important in today's day and age. They deal with the media relations, any promotionals that come through the district or for the district. And they're a huge advocate for our district parents, as well as a support for those who work for the district, whether they be teachers, administrators, or even for our Board of Education. And I think this is a huge area in which a lot of districts can take note as well as improve. They can always be improving in communications. And with that, I look forward to the rest of this class. Thank you.